guys, welcome back. So today I'm going to be showing you guys kind of our little makeshift greenhouse that we made. So the last video I made, I showed our little grow room in the basement, and then my mom actually came and spent some time with us and helped take care of the kids, which is nice. And she kind of gave us this idea for this random little deck that we have here in our house. It wasn't being used for anything because this house has 3 decks, one big one, which is the main one that we used, and we have one in, right up by our master bedroom, which we don't really use, and then this one that we don't really use. So she was like, hey, you guys should turn that into like a greenhouse grow room for your plants. And we were like, that's actually a really good idea. So my husband worked on it, and he's still working on it because we still have to add a window and some things to cover up some areas, and we also have to put a sealer on the floor. But I wanted to kind of show you guys around, kind of just show you what he did, and also give you guys an update on everything that's growing, what's been working, what hasn't been working, fertilizers we've been using, and things like that. So yeah, I'm gonna give you guys kind of a tour and show you how everything is doing. Here are the doors. I'm keeping it closed right now just because it was kind of cold, so I'm trying to keep it warm in here. We also have a heater because we do have electricity in here. But these doors lead to, I don't know if you can see it, but our dining room is there, and then our big deck is back there, and both of these doors open, so this leads to the inside of the house. And it was just, yeah, this little random deck, and we have a light, which is kind of nice, here that we just never really used, so he turned it into a greenhouse. So we do have that, but the sun still gets in here really well, and especially here as well. But we can also kind of engineer it to have some grow lights if we feel like they're not getting enough sunlight. But they've been getting enough sunlight, and ever since we moved them in here, they've been growing so much more. So we really like this. He made the floor with wood, and we have to put a sealer down just because, you know, we water in here and everything. And I keep this bucket with water and the little watering can, so it's easy for me to just grab water and water everything, because obviously this is up. I don't know if you can see, but our land is all back there, and this is on the 2nd level, so we're not on the 1st floor. I'd like to really add a greenhouse out there too one day, but for now we just converted this to grow, and later on it'll be awesome to actually build a greenhouse outside. But yeah, it was kind of like a unique way to use this space. Here's everything here. I'm trying to show you guys, see if you can see it a little better, but everything he got was from Home Depot, and we still have to add a window. He's gonna cut that out and put some wood and add a window. This is the one that we got from an antique store, so I'm really excited about that. And it's gonna go here, and basically it's gonna open up and you can latch it, and we have to cover that up because that's insulation. So he has to put like another wood board there. So we're not done, but it's looking pretty nice, and it stays really nice and warm. So right now the heater's off and it's at 75. So it feels really nice in here, and I think outside right now we're in like 55. I'm in Kansas City. It's been warming up. We've had random 70 days, but it's been really rainy the past couple days, so it got cold. But we do keep a heater down here, and I just have some of our potting soil mix and our trays. It's just nice to have everything out here now, vice having to walk to the basement all the time, so that was really nice. But let me show you guys what has been growing so far. So if you guys know, we had the Brussels sprouts and kale in a tray like this, but obviously they have grown insanely. So we put them in these pots, and these should be going outside. We just haven't been able to till the land because it's been raining so much, and everything is just insanely muddy. You can kind of see there, it's just so much mud there. And if we till the ground right now, it'll just be a complete mess, and the tiller won't go through and it won't work. So we're gonna wait about a week because we're gonna have a whole bunch of sunny days, and then we will till it and be able to put some of our hardier plants outside before our last frost, which our last frost will be around May 2nd, I think, is around there. So I usually wait a week after that. But the kale is doing really nice, and we just repotted them in these pots that can go, you don't have to take them out of here, basically. These can go in the ground as well. And they shot up while they were in here, so I can tell that they really needed more space than this. And I think next year I'll start them in these bigger pots already, just so I don't have to transplant, because these grow big and you start them early. So, and these are the Brussels sprouts, and those are doing really well. And then here we have the asparagus, and we have to repot these and trim them because we did not know. We followed the package instructions, but they just like grew. They are, I mean, they're huge. And everybody was like, oh, asparagus is really hard to grow. And I'm sure it is still when it's outside because it's like this. And I always get scared. I'm like, oh, what if a hard rain comes? But, you know, people do it. So, but yeah, we have to repot these. They grew insanely. So we're going to do that today. Because if you look down here, look at the roots. They are coming out. So yeah, these asparagus need to be repotted and probably trimmed. I mean, look how long that is. And these can probably grow outside now as well once we get the ground already. And then, so we've planted some new things obviously since last time. This is peppermint, nothing has germinated yet. But this is to go around a border of our garden as well as a whole bunch of milkweed that we planted. And then here we have stock avalanche. So stock avalanche is this really pretty white kind of like filler flower. I made sure to plant enough filler flowers for my cut flower garden so that way I can make bouquets and not run out of like filler. You know, you don't just want just blooms. You want to be able to have some nice foliage in there as well. So these are doing pretty well. And I had a humidity tray over this so that they could germinate. And as soon as I saw a sprout, I took off the humidity tray. And here I have China asters, which are another type of flower. China asters are really pretty. They're unique. So I got those. And all my flower seeds I got from Florette Flower Farms. I really like her seeds. Everything has been working really well. But yeah, these are doing good. And then here I planted onions and cucumbers. You can start onions directly outside, but I just decided to start them in a tray. That way I can have an earlier harvest. And the cucumbers, you can see here that they are germinating. I have 3 right now germinating. Actually, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 right now, because there it is right there. So cucumbers are coming up, and we only planted 6 cucumber plants because we don't eat too much of that, but we do eat a ton of onions, so the rest is onion. And then here are my bells of Ireland. This is another filler flower, which is really pretty. If you haven't seen bells of Ireland, I suggest you Google it. It's gorgeous. And these are growing well as well. Some of them are a lot faster than the other one. Like this one is pretty tall. And then I have one germinating there, another little one there, and still waiting on a couple more. And then here is oregano Greek, another filler flower. I planted a lot of filler flowers this time. And these are just really pretty as well. They're green. It's not oregano like the spice. It's an actual flower, so it's called oregano Greek. And those are doing well. A little slower because they're a perennial. And then here are milkweed plants. This is going to grow all around the garden to attract monarch butterflies. And then here are my Formosa lilies. These take long as well. I told you guys I wasn't sure about these. I was like, man, are they actually going to sprout? And they actually did. So they are coming up slowly. But if I read correctly, I don't think they're going to bloom this year. So I'll put them outside and they will bloom next year, next spring. So over here I have black-eyed Susans. These are doing really good. It's one of those easy flowers to grow. And these will also need to be repotted here soon because when you look at the bottom, look at those roots. It's crazy. So I'm gonna repot these also this weekend. And then we have snapdragons. I am so excited because snapdragons are so pretty. So I'm really excited to see these grow. And these can actually go outside because they're a hardy plant as well. I'm gonna let them get a little bigger obviously, and then I will put them outside. And then this is more milkweed here. And here we have our peppers. We got some jalapenos, some bell peppers growing. And then over here are our tomatoes. And then this is where the Brussels sprouts and kale were. So that's why this is all empty here, but our celery is still here. Celery's been kind of a hard one. It's been going kind of slow, but this one right here is doing really well. So we'll see how this goes. And then here I have yarrow, which is another type of filler plant. And I got the summer berries mix, so it's going to be colors of like purple and pinks and all that stuff. So it'll be some nice filler for the actual flowers that I grow. And then this right here are Chinese forget-me-nots. These are really pretty blue flowers. and all of them have pretty much sprouted. And then the broccoli's doing really well. It's getting there. And if you see this right here like this, it's because we've thinned them out. Usually we plant 2 per cell, and then we will thin out the weakest one and keep the strongest. And then I got this little random strawberry plant. I'm gonna start strawberries from seed as well, but I just didn't start them on time this year. So I'll probably just do it next year. And then these little trees here are just some trees that I had inside that I decided to put here in the greenhouse to help them grow a little bit bigger. And then let's talk about the failures right now. So Iceland poppies, you can grow them as a perennial or you can do them as an annual. So I tried doing them as an annual and it's just not really working for me. It could be a lot of things. So we use fish emulsion to fertilize, and when we first started, I accidentally fertilized these when they were tiny sprouts, which I don't recommend doing. I know some people do and it works out fine, but I just think that I think I over fertilized these and maybe light burned them. I have no idea, but these just have not been doing well. So I'm kind of glad I didn't plant a ton of them, but that's the only one doing kind of okay, but it's been stagnant, like it has not been growing. So I don't think these are gonna make it. That's okay, we all have garden fails, so I think those are a fail. So I don't think I'll be getting these nice little poppies. Plus people are already getting them right now because it's technically a spring blooming flower. So I don't think that those are doing too hot. So another thing that I recommend is we bought these trays from Amazon, and these are just one full tray of the seedlings. I went to our local nursery and I like how these are separate and they're longer, so it has more room for the roots to grow, whereas these just doesn't give it that much room. It's not that long, and it's one full tray. So I like these because if you want to plant different varieties, it's a lot easier because you got one tray here and then another tray here. So I like that a lot better than just these full flats. But I mean, if you're gonna plant like one whole variety like milkweed, these are nice because you can just, you know, one whole variety. I have one whole variety here. But when I want to plant different varieties, because I'm not planting a full tray of peppers or a full tray of, you know, tomatoes, celery, I like these trays better. And honestly, from the beginning, I probably would have just gone with a whole bunch of these type of trays, vice those. So the Brussels sprouts and kale, I probably recommend starting those not in these little ones because those just shoot up. So I would probably start it from bigger pots as well. And same, I guess, with the asparagus. I did not know it was going to grow this fast, but I think we've learned too that maybe we started them a little too early, though we followed the instructions per our zone, but I think we started them just a tad bit too early. That's okay. We put them outside and they're perennial, and we can't even harvest from them for like 3 years. So I'm trying to think of some other tips. Make sure you use seed starting mix when you're starting your seeds. You don't want to just use regular potting soil. You want to use a good seed starting mix that'll help those seeds germinate. You also want to make sure you read the package to make sure you don't start some too late or too early or things like that, like we did with our strawberries. I'm not starting them this year just because it is I think I did them too late. So I'm not going to be starting those because I waited too long to start those. Another thing too, if you've had your plants growing inside, especially in a basement, you want to make sure you harden off those plants before you directly plant them in the ground. So you want to slowly introduce them to the outside, leave them a couple hours a day, and then leave them outside maybe now for a couple weeks outside just before you plant them directly out onto the ground, just so they can harden off and get used to the outside world. I recommend, especially for flowers, you want to make sure you look at the seed packet because some seeds need direct light to germinate, some seeds need complete darkness, some seeds need good humidity. So I have these humidity trays that I'll show you guys. These right here, I don't know if you can see, there we go. Those speed up germination, especially for flowers, so well. Every time that I put them on there, I feel like my seeds germinate extremely fast, especially if you're in a keep your area warm and it gets really humid in those trays. It works out really well. I hope you guys like this tour of our little makeshift greenhouse that we have here. on our little deck. So I hope it gives you guys some ideas. Maybe there's a room in your house that you want to do, or you can check out my last video if you want to grow them in your basement or anywhere inside your house. That video is not just for basement. You can put that setup anywhere. But yeah, I hope you guys like this and enjoy this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.